Welcome to the East Aurora Village Board meeting for December 18th, 2023. If you could please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You got a roll call, please?
Trustee Lazikis, Trustee Cameron. Here. Trustee Vijay. Here. Trustee Flynn.
Here.
Trustee Raby.
Here.
Trustee Shear.
Here.
Mayor Mercurio.
Present.
6 present, 1 absent.
Thank you. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes of the Village Board meeting for December 4, 2023?
So moved.
Moved by Kristen, second.
Second.
Second by Jeff. Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. Can I get a motion to approve the payment of abstract 2023-2024 fiscal year for voucher numbers 64246 to 64313 for a total of $172,171.69.
So moved.
Moved by Grace, second.
Second.
Second by Molly. Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. All right, our first public hearing. Can I get a motion to open the public hearing for a site plan application for Commerce Way, SBL number 175.10-1-3.112, applicant Nicholas Petus, to construct a self-storage facility and 7:02 PM.
So moved.
Moved by Kristen, second.
Second.
Second by Molly. Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. The public hearing is now open. The applicant like to let us know what their project is about.
Peter Sorgi, project attorney, and you are?
Doug Hayes from the engineer.
So this project is a self-storage project. It is on Commerce Way. We have been in front of the planning commission 3 times. At the November meeting, there was a positive recommendation for it. There was a bunch of changes that were made pursuant to their request. Mostly it was additional landscaping, which we accommodated. I also want to point out this project, the rear of it, backs up to the Greenville subdivision, which is the town of Aurora. This is the village town line. There was some concern at the planning board level about, planning commission level about some landscaping and buffering because we have residential here. We have put in landscaping, but additionally, when that was approved and developed, the town board required a 50-foot no-cut zone. So basically, they understood that this was going to back up to future uses for non-residential. There are deed restrictions that I can submit to you saying that the rear 50 feet of each one of those lots cannot be cut. Submit that.
Can I give it to Maureen?
Someone here. And Doug, can you answer any questions we have on the plan?
Any issues with what he just said?
So what we're proposing is 6 self-storage buildings. It's a 3-acre site. It's zoned GM commercial.
Which expressly allows the use.
Right. Yep.
Without a special use.
Correct. We're providing all on-site stormwater management. All the infrastructure is within Commerce Way that we're tying to, storm, water, sanitary sewer. There is on-site signage on the front building. Will be on the site, and I went over with Liz the requirements for the sign, and the owners were all aware of that.
So yeah, essentially it's a, from a seeker perspective, it's an unlisted action. There was no environmental issues that were spotted. So we could certainly answer any questions you may have.
Maureen, the conditions from the PC are included in the resolution. Thank you.
And the one was the applicant was committed to an alternative color selection for the building.
We're looking at a white with black. They didn't want any bright colors.
Right, white, I think, was the concern at the planning commission meeting.
What was the concern of white?
It's too bright.
White's too bright?
Yeah.
I think there's a gray option, I believe, isn't that right? Would gray and black work?
It would be less bright in that area.
What's wrong with bright? Bright's nice. All right. Gray would work too. I think we have, do you have
As long as it's not that color.
I'm a big fan of that color, but I think I'm the only one.
One is to gray is here. The other option is kind of a match with the one, so that's the gray. You can see it with the white. Gray and the black.
Nice white.
Yeah, it's a little.
Yeah.
You guys want to see it down there?
I would just also point out, it's not a real visible site. You're gonna have to drive down Commerce Way to see it.
Mhm.
I think just the people who work at Astronics will be the only ones that actually see it, but yeah.
You want to hold it up? You want to move on?
No, go ahead.
All right. Anybody else have any other comments or questions for him?
So can we have it in gray?
Yeah.
Down the way.
Reference.
We're gonna add that as a condition if that's what
When
you
you,
want.
when you make the motion?
Yeah.
When and if you make the motion.
I think I've seen this, but restrictions. Do you see all the restrictions?
I wrote that, yeah, a long time ago. A lot of restrictions.
All right, does anybody else on the board have anything for the applicant?
Mm-mm.
All
Thank
right, great. Does anyone from the public want to speak on during this public hearing? All right, can I get a motion to close the public hearing at 7:08 PM?
Motion.
Moved by Jeff, second,
Second.
second by Ernie, further discussion? All's in favor,
Aye.
opposed? Approved, public hearing is closed. Can I get a motion to open a public hearing at 7:08 PM for a special use permit for 123 Gray Street, Benderson Development for their Chase Bank drive-through.
So moved.
Moved by Kristen, second,
Second.
second by Molly.
Thank
Further discussion? All's in favor,
Aye.
opposed? Public hearing is open. Hello.
Hello, James Baglioli. I'm an attorney for Benderson Development, 570 Delaware Avenue, Buffalo, New York. I'm going to walk through items 2 and 3 together. They're the same project. One's our special use permit, one's our site plan. So I'll cover them together. I'm just gonna wait for the lights to get dimmed. Here we are. I know the board is familiar with this site. It's the large shopping center at the end of town. It's anchored by Tops. We're proposing a new Chase Bank in the area of the rectangle that is blue at the bottom part of the screen. Currently that's paved with very little landscaping in that area. The site is zoned, I'm gonna just. Site is zoned general commercial. This use is permitted with a special use permit. The bank is permitted as of right. The drive-up ATM is permitted with a special use permit in the district. This is the proposed site plan. We filed in August. We had 3 meetings with the planning commission. During those 3 meetings, we revised the site plan to actually make improvements throughout the shopping center as part of this project. I walked through the site. As you can see, we're proposing a 3,383 square foot Chase Bank. The front of the entrance is going to face the Mighty Taco, which is to the left on this plan. We're proposing a 19-space parking lot to the left between the Mighty Taco and the front entrance. There's a drive-through lane that wraps around Gray Street to the ATM, which is on the right side of the plan. We made a number of traffic improvements. To the far left, we closed a drive lane that went into the driveway to the left, improving the traffic circulation so you're forced out into the main ring road. We also provided a pedestrian connection from the main shopping center. We added 3 green islands up the center of the site, so you can walk protected. Currently, that's just striped, so that's an improvement for pedestrian safety. We also improved the main access driveway to the far right by cutting the curbing back and installing a stop bar so that people are not driving into oncoming traffic. Currently, that was an issue that was going on. We did have this entire project reviewed by 2 traffic engineers. They have issued traffic studies. I'll go through that in a little bit. We are code compliant as far as parking. We provide an excess of 102 parking spaces. This is the overall site. This does not foreclose the farmer's market, which we'll still be having here. The farmer's market will be relocated to the area in red. And as you can see, the pedestrian connection to the right allows people to safely walk from Gray Street all the way up. They can cross over the farmer's market to access that site and then go all the way up to the shopping center. We did work with the planning commission for 3 meetings on a unique building, Chase Building for East Aurora. This is the only building of its kind for Chase. It's a 4-sided building. It's a mix of brick and peaked roofs all the way around. These are the 2 sides. The top faces Mighty Taco. That's the main entrance. The bottom is the Gray Street side. You can see the glass, the brick, and the peaked roofs facing Gray Street. These are the other 2 sides. The top side is the ATM, which it faces the tops in the main driveway, and the bottom is the side that faces into the shopping center. Again, we include the materials all the way around. We submitted the project in June. It meets all the criteria for use permit. I submitted a letter with that goes through that. I won't read it. I can answer questions if you have any. We did work with the planning commission. They did make a positive recommendation on the special use permit and the site plan. As noted, we had 2 traffic studies done. They both concluded that we would not have a significant impact on traffic operation on the adjacent roadway network. The project actually improves the number of vehicular and pedestrian situations on site. So that's basically the project. Any questions?
Well, I appreciate that you still found room for the farmer's market and you customized the building to make it a little more East Aurora-esque.
It is an only East Aurora building.
Yeah.
The only one in Chase.
What was the dumpster solution?
The dumpster, they don't need dumpsters.
Okay.
So we just we resubmitted addressing the replanning commission comments. We got rid of the dumpsters completely. They can have a tote that just gets picked up once a week. They don't generate any garbage.
Board have anything else for the applicant?
Is the square footage the same for the current farmer's market where you're replacing it in the other part of the parking lot?
It's a little bit bigger, but it's very similar.
It'll be bigger?
It's about the same size. We're gonna work with them to fit the area. We set an area aside for them. They can relocate that area. They could set themselves up the way they want. But we're gonna continue to work with them.
We don't know how many parking spaces that will take up though.
It takes up about 70 parking spaces all sold. We have 101 extra. And during the time the farmer's market is running, a lot of the businesses are actually closed. It's a good, it works out really well.
What about the snow that typically you guys usually?
We're
pick up?
gonna continue, we're gonna plow that. We did have, and I can't back up. There's a lot of green. So we have significant green areas to push the snow in the small lot into those areas. And any snow we don't have, we'll pick up with a payloader and move to the back of the site where there's room. So the snow piles that are there now won't be there anymore.
Yeah, well, yeah, they couldn't be, right?
It currently is a vacant parking area that not a lot of people park in. Now this is gonna completely change that. So we'll push the snow in the small lot into the green areas around this site because it's a much smaller paved area, so you get less snow on the lot. And then any other snow we'll pick up and relocate or push to other areas on the site that's not being used.
Maureen, all the planning commission's conditions are included in the resolution?
Yes.
Thank you. Anything else for the applicant, board? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone from the public want to speak on this issue? Yep. Come on up,
Can we ask questions?
of us.
The applicant?
You can ask us and we'll ask him, sure.
I'd like to understand.
Name and address,
Oh,
please.
Holly Shinsis, 31 North Willow Street.
Thank you.
It said on the slideshow that there's protected pedestrian access. I know in previous meetings, it's been universally acknowledged that it's a dangerous parking lot. I'd like to understand how exactly it's protected. I saw some lines on the parking lot and islands adjacent to a main driveway. So I'm just wondering how it's protected and yeah.
James, can you expand on that, please?
no permit, no islands, no nothing, we walk and straight across the parking lot. That is not protected. What we did do, as part of this plan, is that we reworked that, we provided the pedestrian up to the crosswalk right off Free Street, so they can walk in the front door of the site. We also provided a crosswalk across here. Then we can add up, so if you go across, there's a landscape height here with curving, landscape height here with curving, landscape height here with curving, so as you cross the drive aisle, you're protected from the weight. Step, stay in those areas, protected from curving, and then the crosswalk goes there for shops. So as opposed to the crossing off the parking lot, no landscape islands, you just paint on the ground. We now have refuge and three large landscape islands. Those don't really exist.
Very good. Thank you, James. Does public have any other questions, comments? Okay, I got a motion to close the public hearing at 7:17 PM.
Motion.
Moved by Jeff, second.
Second.
Second by Grace. Further discussion? All those in favor?
Hi.
Opposed? Public hearing is closed. Can I get a motion to open a public hearing for a site plan application 123 Gray Street, Benderson Development, Chase Bank at 7:18 PM? Just to go through the motions.
So moved.
Moved by Grace, second.
Second.
Second by Kristen. Further discussion? All those in favor?
Hi.
Aye.
Opposed? Can I get a motion to close the public hearing at 7? Well, does anyone from the public want to comment on the site plan application? All right, can I get a motion to close public hearing at 7:18 PM?
Motion.
Second.
Moved by Jeff, second by Kristen. For the discussion, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Approved? Closed. All right, this is our first speakers and communications. You'll have another opportunity at the end of the meeting if there's something in general you'd like to discuss. Please raise your hand when recognized. Come on up, give us your name and address and tell us what your issue is. Anyone? All right, closes the first speakers and communications. Moving on to official considerations. Can I get a motion to approve a neg deck under seeker to construct a self-storage facility at Commerce Way, SBL number 175.10-1-3.112, Nicholas Petus.
Motion.
Moved by Jeff. Second.
Second.
Second by Grace. Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Neg deck is approved. Can I get a motion to approve a site plan application for Commerce Way, SBL number 175.10-1-3.112, Nicholas Petus, applicant to construct a self-storage facility.
So moved.
Moved by Molly, second.
Second.
Second, Ernie. Further discussion?
Are you gonna add a stipulation about the gray?
That's entirely up to Molly. You add a
Yes.
condition?
Yes.
So,
So I make a motion to approve the site plan application, with the stipulation that the building is the gray that,
the PC,
pardon?
was it the PC that recommended the gray?
DC recommended not be white.
Not be
I
white.
would say the
Yeah.
gray that was submitted.
The gray that was submitted. There's a certain number named to it or something we should reference. Okay, the one that's Xed up.
One that's identified.
Identified.
You identified there.
Does say the color on that one.
Is it Xed? The mark?
Marked.
Yeah, it needs cut off.
But it is marked.
I'm guessing it's
I think it's the bottom one, right?
shale? Is it shale?
Shale's great.
The gray that was submitted.
The gray as submitted.
Did she say stipulation? Okay.
There's no color on here.
Oh,
I'm
it's a-
assuming that looks closest to that.
I think I said caveat, but yeah.
This is not this is the other options. Those are door.
So it's gonna be a gray color, this color. right there.
Actually similar to that color.
There is no name. I
Okay,
just have the picture.
so I just wanna clarify that it's a condition, not a stipulation. So the condition that the buildings be the color as marked on the,
A similar gray to the color is marked.
Thank you.
Got it.
Ernie, are you seconding that?
I will second that with the
amended?
amendment that it be the gray stipulated on the panel.
Okay. Thank you. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. Can I get a motion to approve a special use permit for 123 Gray Street, Benderson Development, Chase Bank drive-through?
So moved.
Moved by Ernie, second.
Second.
Second by Kristen. Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. Can I get a motion to approve a neg deck under seeker for the site plan application for 123 Gray Street, Benderson Development for Chase Bank?
So moved.
Moved by Grace, second.
Second.
Second by Jeff. Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. I get a motion to approve a site plan application for 123 Gray Street, Benderson Development for Chase Bank.
So moved.
Moved by Kristen, second.
Second.
Second by Ernie. Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. I get a motion to schedule a public hearing on January 16th, 2024 for a special use permit for 49 Knox Road, applicant Joshua Best of Febu Properties to convert the former print shop building to a multifamily dwelling group.
So moved.
Moved by Molly, second by Grace. Further discussion? So what's considered a multifamily dwelling group?
Don't know where group came from. Group.
Why is it called a
Unit.
dwelling group? Isn't it one unit?
Enforcement department, so that was what the term that was used.
Rich, you got some explaining to do. Multi. It's a multifamily dwelling. Do we change it?
Dwelling is fine or.
Just one building, right?
one
Yeah.
building.
Right.
No.
No.
Dwelling.
Dwelling, okay.
Just scratch the word group.
Just dwelling is singular.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yes.
I mean, there's another property that was mentioned in the split originally that's gonna
Yeah,
be
but
facing
that's-
Knox, but that's
Yeah,
not
but
what this
that's
is
not-
about,
that's
right?
not this. This is just.
No, there's
what-
the other property that's on,
Right.
on Gray Street, but that's not part of this either, right?
No.
Right.
All right, so Molly, do you want to amend it to drop the word group?
Yes, to
Thank you.
multifamily dwelling, period.
Grace, you seconding that amendment?
Yes.
Okay, further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved, scheduled for January 16. Can I get a motion to schedule a public hearing on January 16, 2024 for a site plan application for 49 Knox Road, Joshua Best Febu to convert the former print shop building to a multifamily dwelling? What's the difference?
You just read the
Special use
dwellings.
permit and site plan application.
Yep, so moved.
Thanks, Kristen. Second,
Second.
second by Grace. Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved, scheduled for January 16. Can I get a motion to schedule a public hearing on January 16, 2024 for an amended special use permit for 11 Ernst Place McDonald's drive-through to accommodate 2 ordering lanes?
So moved.
Moved by Grace, second.
Second.
Second by Molly. Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved, scheduled for the 16th. I get a motion to schedule a public hearing on January 16, 2024 for an amended site plan application for 11 Ernst Place McDonald's to reconfigure the drive-through facilities.
So moved.
Moved by Ernie, second.
Second.
Second by Jeff. Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. I get a motion to schedule a public hearing for local law 1 of 2024 to authorize. Shouldn't the date be in there? It's not on my agenda. Can I get a motion to schedule a public hearing on January 16, 2024 for local law number 1 to authorize a possible property tax levy in excess of the limit?
So moved.
Moved by Kristen, second.
Second.
Second by Jeff. Further discussion?
More, just what we say every year.
We do this every year. We do it in anticipation of making the budget. The budget hasn't been made. We're not saying we are going over the levy, but we do it just in case we have to, we are already prepared to be able to do it. And if there's any calculations wrong, it covers you. Thank you.
All right. Moved by Kristen, second by Jeff. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. Can I get a motion to appoint the election inspectors?
So moved.
Moved by Grace, second.
Second.
Second by Molly. Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. Can I get a motion to approve the election results for the East Aurora Department Fire Chiefs, whereas on Thursday, December 7, 2023, the East Aurora Fire Department held their annual Fire Department Chiefs election for 2024 with the following results: Fire Chief Aaron Denz, First Assistant Chief Mark Hartley of Casanova, Second Assistant Chief Bruce Ross of Pioneer Hook and Ladder, Third Assistant Chief Bob Matthewson of Chemical Engine, and Fourth Assistant Chief Chris Shack of East End Active Hose Company.
So moved.
Moved by Kristen, second.
Second.
Second by Jeff. Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. Congratulations, Aaron. There you go.
Yeah.
Appreciate all the time and effort you put into it too. Looking forward to working with you on it. We got a motion to grant permission for the mayor to sign the Lexipol contract.
So moved.
Moved by Grace, second.
Second.
Second by Molly. Further discussion. Shane, you want to grab the mic and give us a quick once over, please?
Yeah, so Lexipol does this across the country. They have lawyers and police experts that will rewrite policy manuals for police departments. They also, I believe, do fire departments as well. They have many other facets that come along with doing the manual, rewriting the manual. They have training on the manual that's integrated into their website that everybody in the department would have access to. It documents the training on the manual for each individual. It documents every policy that that individual opened and read. It's time. Our manual's been, policies have been redone by myself and the previous two chiefs, none of which of us were our attorneys. We've added mandates that the state's put in. We've piecemealed it here and there, and it just is time for it to be completely rewritten. Because we're a member of PERMA, they will also pay a considerable amount of it. There's an annual subscription to it, but it doesn't mean we have to have that forever. It takes approximately 2 years to rewrite the whole manual. And at that point, we can end the subscription and have a new manual and go forward with that. Or we can continue with Lexipol, whatever that decision looks like in 2 years. They also, not only the updated law changes to the manual, they also do best practices throughout the country and tailor it to each individual department.
So this decision is for the building out of the handbook and then 2 years of basically online maintenance and testing. And then we're not committed.
We're not committed to anything. We can, either party can opt out at any time, according to the contract. We could do 3 parts to 3 sections of the manual and decide we don't want to do it anymore, or we could do it for 1.5 years and decide at that time. There's no further commitment once you get started.
So the manual, that looks like the 14,000 one, and then the subscription's 10, so it's 24 total.
For the first year. and then just the annual subscription every year after that. But
The grant money will come off as a refund. I do have a call. We did send in the paperwork and they did tell us we are approved and I have a phone call set up to find out what exactly we're getting. But we have to sign off on the full amount because you pay that full amount to Lexipol and then Perma sends us a
And then
refund.
you get the refund, yeah.
All right, any other questions for Shane on this or Maureen? Moved by Grace, second by Molly. Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Approved?
thank you.
Can I get a motion to appoint Melanie Walker as Deputy Registrar pursuant to Public Health Law, Section 412-1?
So moved.
Moved by Kristen, second,
Second.
second by Grace. Further discussion? What does this entail, Maureen?
Both my deputies are deputy registrars. They sign off on the death certificates or the birth certificates. They do them regularly. I waited and didn't have it done right with her appointment so that Crystal could keep doing them until I was able to train Melanie to do them. So that's what she'd be able to do is you're allowing her to sign off on transports, death certificates and birth certificates.
Thank you. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Approved? Can I get a motion to approve the budget adjustments as listed?
So moved.
Moved by Grace, second,
Second.
second by Kristen. Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. New business, setting the budget work session for Saturday, February 10 at 8:30 AM and Monday, February 5th at 6 PM. Everybody good with those dates? This is considered the public notification of that.
The legal notices will be sent out. If you guys agree to it at this meeting, we'll put it in the paper. We'll have them up here like we usually do, as long as the room's available. Otherwise, we'll have it in the evening room. And we'll do everybody but the police department on Saturday. And then Shane will be Monday.
Very good. Thoughts or comments from the board? All right, we're good. And the webmaster. Maureen, you want to touch on that, please?
So
Tell us
currently,
what that entails.
one employee is the webmaster and they do all the updates to the website. We've kind of been adding as technology happens to things that we have the webmaster doing. Since we've now changed out our deputy clerk, I'm kind of looking at possibly splitting it and doing it for two people. This way we would have a backup person. The way I'm looking at splitting it is if my deputy clerk was given one half of, or I'm kind of asking for 2,000 for each. If my deputy clerk took it, her main job would be to put up the minutes, the agendas, and do the YouTube, which was never part of the position anyways. So they would be updating the YouTube account. And then I was looking if we did it this way, the second person could be possibly Christine at the DPW, and she could update the main site, making sure that all the phone numbers are correct, all the pages. And Christine is very proactive about looking for things for the residents, such as when you can turn paint over and when you can do special kinds of electronic recyclings. And she can get those notices up on the website quickly because sometimes we don't know about it for more than a day or two. So if she sees them, she'd be able to upload it right away. So if you agree to it, I would make resolutions for the next meeting. If you don't, then we would stick with what we have and one, I would have to have my deputy appointed if that was the case for the entire thing. Just because I have to have somebody who's in my office able to do the updates immediately.
I think there's a lot to be said for having a backup. And for the, the information that you're saying that Christine has. I don't know, seems like a no-brainer to make sure people can stay informed and everything and the website stays up to date.
Since the beginning, I've been a big fan of cross-training. I know I talked to you guys at the start of it 6 years ago to make sure everybody could do every job. Because it's a small office, so if one person goes down or can't make it in or gets sick or goes on vacation, we don't grind to a halt.
Yeah, that's worked out very well
Done it.
for us.
Done a great job of doing that.
So.
Redundancy.
Anybody have questions or concerns about that for me?
Good. All right, you can
Okay.
go ahead with it. And going on to old business. Who wants to tell us the latest in this saga? Is that Rich, you want to start us out?
John came into the office today sometime after 2 o'clock and submitted his application for amending his special use permit for the smoker.
So he's amending it to add two smokers?
Just one smoker.
Add one smoker.
And as of his application, he's asking for it to be 7 days. I have to look at the exact hours. And he did provide a location of where that smoker is on his property, but that location will have to be reviewed by our department to confirm that it meets the IFC, the fire code, in regards to separation distance. Bear with me, let's see. Between 7 a.m. to 10 p.m., 7 days a week, that's his current ask in regards to the application for smoking.
So he wants one smoker and he wants to be able to run it from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. 7 days a week.
Yep.
And he brought it in today. So what's the process?
At this point, it's the board to decide if you want to recommend it to go to the planning board for review and then to public comment.
I would think that would be the best option.
So it didn't make the time for the agenda, so it would go on the next agenda to be referred to planning unless you choose to do
It
something
didn't
else
make it in time for this.
for this agenda. Because
So-
due date was Wednesday at noon.
So we're discussing status now. It'll be on our agenda at our meeting on January
To set, to
24th.
send it, to send it to the
Send to
next
the PC.
planning.
Their first meeting is was it the second Tuesday of February?
And
Mhm.
so that's their next meeting.
And then it would come back to us at our second meeting in February.
Once it's approved or denied from them, it'll come back to you after that. So it depends on how long it takes.
Okay, well, windows are closed because it's winter. Or, I mean, February, right? We'll see it in March. It'll come to us or end of February.
If it comes through one meeting with them, then it would be back to you
Second meeting.
to set a
Second
public
meeting in
hearing.
February, yeah.
Yep, so the public hearing would be in March.
So is he able to use the smoker now?
So what are we doing
He is-
there between now and then?
He's not supposed to be using the smoker and he was notified of that.
But he's still using them.
He is still using it.
He is doing that at his own risk. In
He
regards
needs
to
to
doing such.
maybe do it, find an offsite location to do a smoking and just truck it in like Fat Bob's does with 42 North. And until we get an approval. Or not a recommendation, but I would recommend that he find a place outside the village, maybe.
Frankly,
Until-
I'm getting a little, I'm getting a little, annoyed with his not complying with the rules, playing by the rules here.
Right.
I don't know what the answer
So-
to that is, but I'm just vocally saying that because I'm.
So what are?
Well, yeah, 'cause
what are
everybody
our
else has to.
options
I mean-
Enforcement wise.
Your options are if he continues to use the smoker and he's not authorized to do it, or code enforcement to file a violation against him and then it ends up in front of the court.
What's the timeline for that?
Probably. Don't know it depends if he's still using it, you could file now and he'd be in court in January.
And the downside to his actions now are also the fact that he's working outside our directions and our law, right?
He was
And
told,
then he's gonna come before us and ask for permission to do it.
he was told in October to stop and he basically said, doesn't matter what code enforcement tells me, I'm gonna continue to do it anyway.
I mean, I just feel like you're acting in good faith. when-
Well, he claims he got permission from Kathy, which we didn't get permission.
He did not
He
get
did
permission.
not,
from
I know,
Kathy.
but that's the claim he was made.
Well, I just feel like we were acting in good faith. We said, why don't we all go back and take a look at this, and Rich went over and to come up with a plan, and
He said he was gonna look at
yeah, it's just not.
maybe
I
doing
mean,
a scrubber, bringing it inside, get a cost to bring it inside the building,
And I just don't feel like he's
and now
We gave him ample time.
his
spent
end
all
of
this time and
holding
now
up
he's
his end of the
simply
bargain on that.
gonna apply for it. And get to do it for 2 more months.
Right.
So what do you guys wanna do? You guys wanna have Rich move ahead with the enforcement option? Bring it to court in January?
Yes.
It would run parallel with this timeline. We would still go forward this way.
Well, he would have to use it again for him to actually, for him to be in violation, correct? I mean, if.
Technically, he's
already-
already in
Yeah, in
violation
violation of the.
because he was told before and the board never lifted. And you gave him time to submit an application. And he waited until today to come in. When was
Which
it
is
due?
after it was due. It was due within 30 days. He did not have it. I personally called him. I personally spoke to him and I followed up with a letter letting him know. He kept saying he brought it in on time today. It was 100% not on time. It just was before this meeting.
He had a meeting because I talked to Liz. For I think a week ago and he didn't show up.
He did show up 2 days later.
And he's not here to speak on his own behalf, but you know, at this meeting. Which I don't think that I would have liked to have had him here to answer some questions and explain what his plan is.
Well, right, and he didn't send an emissary. I mean, he brought an entourage
Yeah,
last time, so.
I would have liked to have had him explain himself. I think that's.
Well, at
We can
this
require
meeting,
it.
what it would have been, just so you know,
Not required, but I think it would have been, a good. Good faith. A good thing for him to do, to come in and, you know, this is his business, this is what he wants to do. To be here to, you know, talk about it, explain himself and what's going on. You know, not being here doesn't help. The situation, I don't think.
Well, right, it's not legally required. He's not like in trouble for not being
No, he's
here,
not
but
in
it
trouble.
doesn't help matters.
But it would, you know, communication is always good.
Right, agreed.
Right. So. That brings us back to, we got 2 things we can do. We can refer this to the planning commission. Right, for his application and follow the timeline we discussed. And then, does everybody want to do that?
We can do both, can't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One, I'm just breaking it down.
Yeah,
Well-
I'd rather he could go to the planning commission. But I think he also needs to be put on notice that if, you know, if he's not to use the smoker, if this is outside of the special use permit.
Well, why don't we do first things first? Can I get a motion? To refer to the planning commission, Mr. Special Use Permit, by John Becker.
I don't super love the idea of referring something I haven't laid eyes on.
I'm sorry, I thought we weren't.
Oh, that's right, that's right. We
Yeah, yeah, 'cause
can't do it to
wasn't
the
time.
next meeting.
Can't do
We
it.
do that the next meeting.
You,
No, we don't wanna.
No,
yeah,
I'm
we
not
don't
gonna do it
wanna
sight
go
unseen.
against our time. Thanks, Chris.
So it'll be on the agenda.
It'll be on the agenda for next meeting.
Right.
And then. Do you guys wanna go ahead and have, what are we having, Chris or Rich proceed with enforcement?
well, Rich cites that I prosecute.
But he has to say.
Right.
Yeah,
So do we make a motion to have Rich move ahead with citing him? Or is that just like an agreement?
The director.
Yeah.
I have
a question, probably for Chris. Did they send a notice or that notice we've already sent is good enough?
I would send another one because after that notice was sent out in October. If the board gave him time, 30 days from that November, I want to say 8th meeting to submit the paperwork. Courts love more notice, not less notice.
Was it
Can we
certified?
reference all those other dates that we noticed
Yep.
in that letter? Okay.
Yep, absolutely.
Yep. And my letter to him also told him he was not supposed to be using the smoker. So he has that notice as well.
All right, everybody good with giving Rich that directive?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't love it, but I feel like we have to. It's,
Yeah, I
you know,
know.
it's not being taken seriously, and so this is how we take it
There's other
seriously.
businesses watching what's happening here, so.
Yep.
So Kristen's a
And,
yes,
you know,
Molly's a
he
yes,
does have
Jeff's a
options.
yes.
I mean, he does have options. He can move his smoker off-site to somewhere
Mhm.
and bring the food in. That's been done. Fat Bob's does it at 42 North. You know, if he relies on smoked meat as a 1/3 of his business is what he told us. You know, we're not saying that he can't sell smoked meat. He just,
Mhm.
if he can find another location that he can, run his smoker, maybe out in his home out in the country, and then run, well, that's it, but it's what Fat Bob's does it at 42 North. I think they smoke it off-site.
Well, that's
me.
what the month was for.
For him to
Give
figure
him
that out.
some
Exactly.
options.
But he
And
knows
for
he
us to
can.
talk about it.
So we're not telling him he can't sell this product.
No.
He just has to do it off-site
Yeah.
until we come up, with some sort of a resolution.
Well, it's up to him to figure out.
It's up to him to figure it out.
Yeah, right. We're not
But I'm
legislating what to
thinking to
be.
myself, and I've been thinking about this a lot. I'm like, okay, so he says it's about 1/3 of his restaurant sales is smoked meat. Okay, well, we don't want to harm his business, but he has options and he can do this off-site if he wants and bring the meat in with approval of the health department, whatever he's gonna do. So, I don't, he can find another way where he's not harmed.
So you're
is what
saying
I'm
yes.
saying. Yes.
Yes.
Grace is a yes, I'm a yes. All right. Let us know how it goes, Rich.
We'll send out a
Please.
letter.
Thank you. All right. Second, speakers and communications. Anybody have anything they want to speak on? Now's the time. Come on up.
Hi, guys. Holly Shinsis, 31 North Willow. With regards to this matter, how things get moved to the planning commission, like if there's any recommendations that come from this, I just want to, and correct me, Rich, if I'm reading the code wrong, that under 28552, there are multiple portions under special use permit review criteria that this is at odds with. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. It has to be compatible with existing uses adjacent to the property, right down to F, which is the production of obnoxious and questionable noise, dust, glare, odor, refuse, fumes, contamination, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, we're talking about unfiltered, unmitigated smoke and burning embers from 8 to 10. I mean, and if I was a resident running a smoker in my yard adjacent to a business's outdoor dining area and they complain to you, what would you do? And also, would you like this in your backyard? I mean, this is pretty straightforward. It's not just about me. And I know at the last meeting, there was, because I'm a squeaky wheel. This isn't what this is. Anybody who lives near a restaurant in this village is affected by the decision that gets made because of this. Like, this is about having limits and understanding how two use groups can work adjacent to each other and be respectful. And there is like a recreational smoke ordinance for residents where neighbors get to be mindful of one another, right? And that applies to private homes. I don't see why this wouldn't apply to a residence. Because I mean, their ability to generate the smoke is even more of a nuisance at that point. I do have documentation here from the New York State DEC, the CDC, the EPA, and even restaurant companies as far as like this pollution from the smoke. You may not see it, you think it disappears, it doesn't. The particulate matter is significant and measurable, and it's in my neighborhood, my entire backyard, and in my house. I can send you a PDF copy. And so when it does go to planning commission, I'm assuming this process starts over, I guess. So I don't know, I'll be there.
Thanks, Helen.
Great.
Anyone else have anything they'd like to speak on? All right, going to department head report, Shane.
Our newest officer, Paul Spahn, graduated from the academy on Friday and started his field training program today. So we'll have that for about 12 weeks. And at that point, move to his own patrolling. As you're probably aware, we had a reported threat to our school district yesterday. That's been resolved today and determined to be not valid. It was a made up threat. New Fire Chief Farron Denz, our communications supervisor, has been off periodically helping Central Police Services on a committee to select a new CAD system for all the police and dispatch centers for Erie County. So maybe Aaron can give you a little update on how that's going.
Long and short of it is it's going. Very long process that won't be implemented until the goal is third quarter of 2025. But we're watching demonstrations from 6 different companies. Some of them are worldwide. The technology compared to what we have right now is absolutely incredible. The things that police, fire, and EMS units can do. So without getting into it too much, we still have 2 more demos to go. They're going well. And this is throughout the entire county, all law enforcement and fire dispatch centers.
So CAD in my world is computer aided design is the same thing?
Computer aided dispatch for us, and then records management for the police department as well.
So it's a whole system that the dispatchers have, part of the system that runs the computers and the patrol cars that are all connected. So they're looking to replace all of that. Which is gonna be.
As well as mobile data terminals and fire trucks, evidence systems for police departments. It's the meat and bones of the police station, pretty much.
That's it.
You said Q3 of 25, you think? Okay. Well, Aaron, while you got the mic, do you have anything else you want to add from the fire department perspective? Okay. All right, Matt?
Nothing new to report, Your Honor.
I can see it snowing out the window. You excited?
That's not a concern at this point.
All right, Rich? You good? All right. Thanks for being here and for your input. All right, Maureen?
We had our department head meeting, getting all of us in a room was fabulous. We got through a whole lot of stuff. You're going to be seeing a whole lot of stuff coming at you. Well, first of all the departments are finishing off the sexual harassment, workplace violence, and hazmat training that is required. All the departments are pretty close to being done with it, but there's a few stragglers. We are reviewing the employee handbook. Our labor attorney has put in all the legal changes, and the department heads are kind of going through that right now. We did make an internal graffiti procedure that is pretty much ready for implementation. And then we are talking about a local law for private property graffiti, which will come before the board when we get there. The local law on e-bikes and scooters is probably going to come back at you, especially with the increase number of e-bikes and scooters in town. And I know it's been on the table before, but cost recovery for movies in the village is something else that we're looking at putting in the law, not to make a permit to deter it, but to make sure we get our costs recover if they make us put up Christmas decorations or use our police department for the day doing special detail.
Like one of the things we talked about, I think, was Orchard Park after the first filming that they had there, decided to add a fee for a movie company to film, right? It's pretty high fee. And the result, I think, was that they just chose to film the next one in Akron or something instead. So we're not looking to deter movies from filming, but if they need our DPW to come in and put fake snow down on the street, or our police department to close off the street for several hours, I don't think we didn't think it was fair that the residents have to foot the bill for the production companies to do this, so we're just gonna pass the costs on to them, any overtime. That gets incurred, that kind of thing, we'll come up with some sort of rubric and pass that price sheet on to the building company. That was the thought process there.
We do that in schools, facilities use, there's a whole fee structure. Goes on to the whoever. Same thing.
We're also reviewing cybersecurity policies and, I know it came up before, but possibly a 1-day special event food truck permit only for select events. Kind of talking about that. So all those things will come back before you, in the coming months.
Right. Just so you can wrap your head around it, Victoria from the Chamber of Commerce called and asked if we could do like a festival approval where they would get approved, like for maybe $250 to come in and just work one event. Because we had originally, when we upgraded our food truck policy to, I think it's $450. We had talked about doing like a 1-day permit, that kind of thing, but the tricky part was the enforcement. So I thought maybe have the event organizer be in charge of the enforcement of the 1-day food truck permits at their event, right? Like the Tasty Soror or the
Festival.
Yeah.
festival, that kind of thing.
That makes sense.
They'd buy a permit for that 1 day. But we'll work out the nuts.
That's a great idea.
Yeah. Question, cybersecurity policy, is there anything in there about the use of things like ChatGPT? Yeah,
It's more generic than that. You'll see it when it comes through if
Yeah.
you'd like to add more specific things, but it's more generic.
okay. It really just because that was something that I've seen come up, numerous workplaces around and everything. Where it's, making sure that we're not putting people's personal data into something that actually keeps it.
We only have really employee data. We don't keep anything other than employee data.
Sure.
So
Okay.
we don't take credit card payments. There is a system that takes them online. So that saves us from all of that. And I know sometimes the residents get upset because they want us to take a credit card inside, but then we have that. It's a offsite system that another company deals with. We never have those accounts.
Okay.
We don't keep bank information. So we don't do ACH. We don't keep any of that. So really it's just us protecting our employee data.
Okay.
Anything else for Maureen? Anything else from Maureen? Very good. Molly,
I'm all set.
you good? Jeff?
All good, thank you.
All right, Ernie?
Also.
All right, Grace?
What's up?
Kristen?
All set.
Wow, 5 for 5. All right, I'll keep it quick.
You always got something.
I know.
Department head meeting is something that we rolled out. We actually, I think we talked to somebody who applied at a position who mentioned it in the interview. And I like the idea of us getting together. So we're gonna do it quarterly and just kind of work through best practice and thoughts and everything while we're all together. So there's a lot of great ideas that came out of it. We're still working on our CSEA negotiations. I think our next meeting's now pushed to January. And that's it. Have a great Christmas. Can I get a motion to adjourn? 8:01.
So moved.
Moved by Grace, second. Second by Jeff. Further discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We're adjourned. Thank you all for coming. Don't say it.
Burn my tongue after sipping.